Hello everyone, I am Douglas E. Welch and welcome back to another container garden update. We haven't done one of these in a while, but I'm actually getting more containers growing in the garden again, and so we'll split this off from in the garden a little bit and focus on the containers. Well, the thing that I'm going to do today is through our nextdoor.com neighborhood site, I put out the call for prickly pear. I wanted to start growing some of these in the garden for a variety of reasons. One, they're water wise. Two, they do produce fruit, and I've actually had a thought of making a liqueur, which I make like limoncello or other liqueurs, out of prickly pear fruit. So maybe we'll try that if we can get a fruit. But first of all, and this is a long way before we get to that level, is we need to root up these petals that I took from a neighbor's house. Now what you do when you take petals, you can cut them off, you can do whatever you like, you can even cut the petals in half. I decided to do it as if it would happen in nature. I simply reached up and snapped off these petals right at the joint here, and I think that's going to be a little more natural way of these to propagate on their own in the wild, so why not try that in the garden? Now I've left these out for a few days to kind of callus over and dry out the ends. That's something I read online is important to do. And then we're going to actually just pot them up. You just plop these down in pots of soil and see what you get. I've actually had some pretty good success with succulents rooting that way. They take off very well. They're pretty hardy plants, so we'll give that a try here. I have 4 very large pots because I'm going to plant this whole paddle, and we'll see what we get in a few weeks or a month. So when I said this was easy, I mean this is easy. This is going to take about 5 minutes at the most. First of all, wear sturdy leather gloves. I've even had some of these spines go through these sturdy leather gloves. You want the thickest ones you can get. And it's actually not the big needles you got to worry out for. All cactus and succulents, or most I should say, have small, fine, hair-like needles on them. Those are the ones you got to watch out for. They get in your skin and they're so hard to get out, and they just bug you for weeks afterwards. So again, sturdy gloves. I've been pretty good. I got one needle in my hand when I harvested these, and that was it. Down here at the pot, I'm going to have the camera person zoom in a little bit if you want, down there on the pot. Literally all you do, I've wet the soil down here. You kind of dig a little divot, and I'm going to bury these somewhat deep, basically more for support than anything else. And that is it. I mean, seriously, could anything be easier? I might actually put a stake in here just to hold these up. But since these are such large petals and they're a bit curved, I may put a stake in here just to hold them up so the roots can really set there. That's it, okay? That's all there is to it. You put these in a corner, you let them set, you don't give them water. They don't like that. You'll actually cause them to rot if you do that. So, just do one more here real quick. I've got 4 paddles from the neighbors. Eventually, I want these to go into the garden, into the soil itself, both here in the back garden and up front as a kind of showpiece of a water-wise garden. They do produce very beautiful flowers, so it's nice to have in the garden, and it is something that's basically native. I'm not sure if these are truly native to California. I think they are, but they're great to have in any garden, I think. Now, especially someone asked, well, what about kids? Well, our kid is now 18 years old, so I think I can pretty easily plant these in my garden and not worry about him. He dealt with the roses over all these years, even as a small toddler, so I think he'll be okay. That's pretty much it. I've got 2 more to pot up in exactly the same way. That's all there is to it. Again, I like to snap off anything I propagate rather naturally. When you see some propagation, you'll actually see people, if you have a woody perennial, to actually pull away part of the bark as if it were browsed off by a deer or something. And so I tend to follow in that regard and hope for a lot of success with these prickly pear. For more information on a gardener's notebook, visit douglasewelch.com. There you'll find links to a gardener's notebook as well as everything else that I do. Until next time, keep on getting products from your neighbors, you keep on potting them up, and keep on digging.